This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Today, Pendleton residents will get back to work and school just days after that Memorial Day tornado. The help they still need and the warning from officials about avoiding getting hurt while cleaning up.
Plus, the man who pleaded guilty to killing Boone County Deputy Jacob Pickett will spend his life behind bars. Why Deputy Pickett's widow is happy with that sentencing.
And fixing Indianapolis roads will take help from those who don't even live in Marion County. That's the message from Mayor Joe Hogsett, who he wants to see step up and help make the roads better for everyone. Thanks for joining us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Nicole Griffin. Meteorologist Todd Clausen is here, sounding like a broken record because more rain is in the forecast. But Todd, my mindset is just get through today and get till tomorrow.
You know,
and then we see the sun.
Yeah, tomorrow's a great day. So yeah, if you can get through today, we're in great shape. And all these days this week, we've had storms in the forecast, but there's been a lot of dry hours mixed in as well. And today is no different. There's a lot of dry hours from start to finish today. There's just some moments where you'll be dealing with a little bit rainfall moving through your neighborhood. This morning, here's a live look at Storm Team 6 radar, and most of the shower activity is to the north. A lot of this green you see from Indianapolis southward, that's probably just a sprinkle at best. All the substantial showers are still across the state line in Illinois, but here's a little bit of a closer look. Greencastle, Crawfordsville, Lafayette, over towards Anderson. There's a few spotty showers moving through, but no threat of severe weather for your morning commute. Our severe weather threat will come later on this afternoon. As this wave moves through, we'll get into a little bit of sunshine, and then when these showers that are not impressive right now in Omaha, when they reach us later on today, that will be the opportunity for isolated strong to maybe severe storm across the area. Temperatures right now are currently in the 60s all across central Indiana, so we're getting off to a mild start with the spotty showers and a few storms this afternoon. Our highs eventually climb up into the mid-70s. The time now is 6:02. Let's get a look at the roads. Here's Lana.
All right, thank you, Todd. Here's a look on the north side, I-465 at Michigan Road. Everything's moving along just fine, and those roads are dry right now. That won't be the case as the day continues, so just be sure to slow down if you are impacted by any of those thunderstorms Todd was telling us about. So let's take a look at the map. If you're coming in from this west side on I-74 from State Road 267 to I-465, it should only take you about 7 minutes. So everything's moving along just fine. Coming up in the next 20 minutes, I'll point out a weekend interstate closure you're going to want to pay attention to.
Elena, thank you. Today, another step of getting things back to normal in Pendleton. All South Madison schools will reopen for the first time since the Memorial Day tornado.
Recovery efforts after the EF2 tornado will continue today. For the first time, however, all traffic restrictions in Pendleton have been lifted. With schools reopening, the shelter for anyone in need will move from the high school to the Pendleton Christian Church. Rolling food trucks from the Red Cross and Salvation Army will also continue today. As that cleanup effort continues, another coordinated volunteer effort will also happen.
I'm blessed enough to have a community surrounding me who supports me in everything I do, and I think we need to let Pendleton know that LaPel's a supporting community that are going to be there for them. Whatever we need to do, we're going to do it.
If you would like to help, you can show up at the Pendleton Christian Church this morning at 10 a.m. The Emergency Management Agency says if you have any questions or concerns, call 211. As cleanup continues in Pendleton, the dangers from the severe weather have not passed quite yet.
Our Aaron Lish is live in Pendleton this morning with what first responders are urging residents to do. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning. You can see the debris piling up, some even taller than me. There's also sightings from homes that have blown off from this storm. 130-mile-per-hour winds ripped through this area here. There's a ton of these piles going along this community here. Even the trees are still on parts of roofs here. So there's a lot of damage that has to be cleaned up here, and it's going to take some time. And something to point out, the CDC found some data from another tornado that went through Illinois, and they said about 50% of the injuries happened after the storm. So we talked to Captain Michael Pruitt, who goes around the country helping out with natural disasters like hurricanes and tornadoes, and he says there are different things out there that you need to pay attention to. For instance, you have those down power lines, you have gas leaks, those sharp edges, and especially nails that are part of those dangers that can cause some serious injuries days after a tornado. He says wear heavy boots, long sleeve pants, and safety glasses during cleanup. Pruitt says this is going again to take time to get things back to normal.
When these disasters come to our communities, there's just that shock, that initial shock, and then it takes a little while to get this machine moving to help people get through the storm. It's not something that happens quickly. And so all I can say is, just be patient.
The emergency management team has 2 dumpsters in town, one at the Methodist Church on State Street and Brown's Pool on Water Street. Duke Energy is saying that 200 customers are still without power. We were going around the area here, and that is what is the biggest concern according to law enforcement right now. We are going to have a little bit more from here coming up in the next half hour about how you can prepare for something like if this comes to your town. But for now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Aaron, thank you. A Lebanon man is now behind bars this morning where he will spend the rest of his life after pleading guilty to the murder of Boone County Deputy Jacob Pickett. Anthony Baumgart said he had nothing to say after being sentenced and leaving court yesterday. A victim impact statement read by Deputy Pickett's widow sheds light on the plea deal that was reached, including the prosecutor's decision to drop the death penalty in the case. Jennifer Pickett said in part, "I will not allow this single selfish action to define Jake's life, my life, or the lives of our children. I will not allow you to take up any more of their lives with a death sentence that will drag on for 20 to 30 years with frequent hearings that will constantly reopen the wound you created. My boys deserve better. I deserve better." To read the full statement from Deputy Pickett's widow, head on over to the IndyChannel.com or the RTV6 app.
A new funding proposal could help fix the city's pothole-plagued roads. Mayor Joe Hogsett unveiled the plan in his State of the City speech last night. Our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning with what this could mean for commuters. Alyssa, good morning.
Good morning, Nicole. You know, anybody that has driven on Indianapolis roads know that they are in disrepair. They're riddled with potholes and patches in many areas, and the city has struggled to get funding to fix these roads because more people use them than live in the city. Mayor Hogsett gave his State of the City speech on Wednesday, and he explained his plan to address the issue. The mayor is proposing officials reach out to surrounding areas where commuters live. The mayor is calling for Marion County and 8 surrounding counties to put money into a central infrastructure fund, which would then be distributed out for local projects. Now, that money would come from the growth of the region's income tax, so no new taxes would be levied to anybody. Now, the proposal is still in the early phases, but it could eventually raise $100 million new dollars for projects without raising taxes. Now, the mayor of Fisher has already stated his concern with that idea. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. 3 people are being questioned by police after an 18-year-old was shot and killed while driving in Lawrence. Officers arrived at 56th and Boy Scout Road just after 6 last night and found an 18-year-old behind the wheel of a car that had crashed into a pole. Police say he'd been shot and was rushed to the hospital where he died. Witnesses said 3 other people jumped out of the car after it crashed. Those passengers are who investigators are talking with in connection to the case. The name of the 18-year-old who died is expected to be released later today.
New this morning, if you stopped at a Rally's on the southwest side, listen up. The fast food chain saying a data breach impacted dozens of locations, including one here in Indianapolis. The Rally's at 3605 Kentucky Avenue has since closed, but management says the data breach occurred from October of 2018 until February of 2019. Anyone who used a credit or debit card at the restaurant during that time is asked to check their statements. Rally's also advises you can sign up for a free credit check with Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion. It is 6:09. Let's get over to meteorologist Todd Clausen.
All right, just walk out the door this morning. Most of you just dealing with cloudy skies here across central Indiana. Some of you, as I'll show you in just a second, are dealing with a few scattered showers as well. But overall, just mostly cloudy and temperatures pretty uniform. Everybody is in the mid-60s, so you don't really need the heavier coat this morning. Maybe a light rain jacket is all you need, or something with a hood, because you may not even want to carry the umbrella around all day. All these showers this morning are very, very light. The heavier rain that'll stay off to our west and move into extreme northern Indiana. So as we go throughout the day, it's just a spotty shower or two this morning. Temperatures eventually climb maximum up into the mid to upper 70s, but there will be the chance of a few thunderstorms as we get into the afternoon hours. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on. If you're heading to Victory Field tonight, first pitch just after 7 o'clock. Again, there could be a spot storm, but they'll definitely get this game in later on this evening. And temperatures pretty comfortable. We'll be in the 70s to the entire duration of the game. Tomorrow, a beautiful day. Finally can say that. We'll talk more about it coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you. Still ahead, learning the skills to land a job in the growing cybersecurity industry. The Indianapolis company teaching anyone how to be ready for a high-tech job. Next in Hiring Hoosiers.
Plus, today is the day, our 70th anniversary here at RTV6. After the break, we look back at the very first broadcast and hear from one of our former employees who remembers watching that very first day. Elena.
And here's a look at I-65 at Fletcher Avenue. So this is between the South Split and the North Split. This is an area that's going to be closed beginning this evening for all weekend. So you're going to want to plan ahead with this if it's part of your drive. I'll show you how to get around it coming up in the next 20 minutes. Time now 6:10. You're watching RTV6. Stay with us.
Hiring Hoosiers is an RTV6 initiative working to highlight open jobs that may be right for you and track the industries in need of more help. Today, with more and more tech devices in our lives, there is a growing need for workers with high-tech skills.
Today, our own Lauren Casey took a look at a brand new startup that is training people in the growing and evolving field of cybersecurity.
Skills gap in the industry right now, that cybersecurity and what is happening in the world, this job is not going to go away. It's going to do nothing more but get bigger.
If you're looking for a job of the future, this is it. Cyberspace, the online world connecting our devices, protecting our country, helping us do our jobs. It's always under attack by hackers looking to access and steal our information.
It's a crazy number. So many things are connected. Everything you have is connected now, where somebody has to protect that for some hacker getting in.
Jeremy Miller is the CEO of the new OPSEC Cybersecurity Institute. The veteran knows how much our security matters and hopes this startup company can help close a skills gap in the cybersecurity industry. Course participants may have an interest in the field, but he also says they welcome people of all backgrounds and abilities.
Some companies are even taking people out of certain pieces of their company and bringing them in and training them.
Like Kim Sharp, who has a background in design.
Downloading programs or trying to exploit something, that's what I really like about the classes.
Today she's taking part in a base course working to earn certification and some basic skills.
Fishing, farming, whaling, there's a lot of things you can learn.
She says these skills can help her not only protect herself from hackers, but also her workplace, skills that can make her valuable to a company.
What are ways you can actually find insecurities in a company? Because, you know, it helps protect the company as well.
She considers herself to have beginner to intermediate skills and says this class is for anyone who has an interest.
After finishing these courses, students are able to take the industry's standardized test for certification and then land a new job. For more information on the cybersecurity field, just search for this story on hiringhoosiers.com.
And tomorrow, technology is not just an industry for jobs, but a tool being used to recruit quality workers back to the Hoosier State. How the recruitment tech works to land the best candidates for open Indiana jobs, no matter where those candidates live, tomorrow on Good Morning Indiana at 6 a.m. It is 6:16. Todd's got a live look from the IMS Pagoda.
Yeah, and showing lots of clouds here this morning. Certainly not going to be the brightest commute for you, but these clouds not producing a whole lot in the way of rainfall. There's a few spotty showers currently making their way through central Indiana, but nothing heavy. That is the good news. 63 right now in Indy, 66 in Peru, 64 in Bloomington and Bedford, where you're really drying out after a lot of heavy rainfall that went through the area first in the morning and then with some additional storms yesterday afternoon and evening. But here's a live look at Storm Team 6 radar. And with the exception of a sprinkler or two south of I-70, you're going to be mainly dry this morning. To the north, there's a little more in the way of shower activity from Lafayette, Monticello, over towards Delphi, and then as you make your way into the Peru area. But again, everything is very, very light. If your travels do take you this morning, though, up Interstate 65 towards Gary, Crown Point, and eventually the Chicago area, you can see that there's quite a bit of heavy rainfall making its way through that area this morning, but that will avoid central Indiana. So we have this complex moving through right now. Then you know some showers near Omaha. And that is going to come through this afternoon with an additional shower and thunderstorm threat across the area. So this morning, a hit or miss shower is certainly going to be a possibility. We get into a little bit of sunshine this afternoon. That's good, right? It brightens up the sky. It's also bad, though, because with the instability that we still have around, that's going to fire up a few isolated strong to severe storms. The best chance of them will be this evening, say after 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But you notice how isolated they are. Certainly not widespread a severe weather event for us throughout the day today. And as they make their way through the area, they'll weaken as they push down to the south. And then the last hurrah for the rainfall will be overnight, working our way into early Friday morning. So the Storm Prediction Center has us under the marginal risk for severe weather, the main threats today. And then any storms that do develop will be wind and hail with that timing late afternoon into the early evening hours. So another day you need to be weather aware, but nothing like we went through during the day on Monday is expected throughout the day today. In fact, I left a lot of the rain icons out of here. I don't want to give the perception that it's going to be a very, very wet day, because it will not be. 69 degrees by the noon hour. And then we did throw in the thunderstorm chances. We build in those storms during the peak heating of the day with a high today of 76 degrees. For tomorrow, your Friday forecast, it's a good one. Mostly sunny skies in the afternoon hours after a little lingering cloud cover in the morning, starting off at 65, going up to 80 for your high temperature tomorrow. Get out there and enjoy. And then this weekend, Saturday, we'll be dealing with some spotty storms in the afternoon, not a washout, otherwise plenty of sunshine. Sunday, very nice at 75 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and then that nice weather will carry over into next week on Monday, Tuesday, and for most of Wednesday with temperatures in the 70s and 80s. Elena?
All right, thank you, Todd. Here's a look at I-465 at Michigan Road up on the north side. Right now, everything is moving along just fine for your drive, and it's light out there. Just be sure to pay attention for any rainfall that might happen throughout your day. Be sure to use that extra caution. Let's take a look at the map, point out some weekend road closures. And I apologize. I keep thinking today's Friday because I'm off tomorrow. So this closure begins tomorrow, 9 o'clock Friday to 6 a.m. on Monday. Northbound I-65 between I-465 on the south split just going to be closed, as well as beginning at 9 o'clock tomorrow evening. Northbound I-65 from the south split up to the north split is going to be closed, as well as westbound I-70 from the south split over to Belmont Avenue. So plan ahead with this. It does add significant time to your drive. These detours I'm about to show you, westbound 465 to eastbound I-70 downtown. So that's going to add a lot of time. The last available exit you can use is that Illinois Street, Meridian Street exit, which is exit 79B. So if you do need to get further downtown, this is the detour you're going to want to take. Westbound 465, which turns into northbound 465, then head to northbound or southbound I-65, depending upon your destination. So plan ahead with that. Again, it begins tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. Those other closures begin at 9 p.m., continue through 6 o'clock on Monday morning.
Elena, thank you. 70 years ago on this very day, Channel 6 went on the air for the very first time. That was May 30th, 1949.
We've been building up to this day all month long, looking back at some of the big stories dozens of journalists have covered since then. This morning, we want to go back to that very first day.
Channel 6 was the first commercial television station in Indiana. We had the call letters WFBM and aired as the local CBS station at the time. Hoosiers read in the newspaper that the first live broadcast would be the 33rd Indianapolis 500 on Memorial Day. A future photographer at our station, Dick Baldwin, remembers joining a crowd in front of a furniture store so he could watch the first broadcast.
Race day 1949, I was 12 years old, and I walked to Fountain Square and stood with a crowd watching some blank TV sets, and then the test pattern came on, and we stood and watched the test pattern for a while, and then Channel 6 came on the air.
The first program at 10 a.m. was not the race, but a documentary on racing, The Crucible of Speed. A live broadcast of the race followed using 3 cameras built by Channel 6 technicians. Dick Baldwin, the man you just heard from, became a Channel 6 photographer about 8 years after he watched that first broadcast.
He worked here as a photographer until 1994. And be sure you join us tonight for more memories. Clyde Lee and Dion Willis will lead us in a 1-hour special, 70 Years Together, RTV6 working for you. That's tonight at 7 p.m. We hope you join us then.
Still ahead, we stick with the throwback theme to check out the very first live TV broadcast in Indiana. It did not come from RTV6, but a teenager's basement. That story coming up in Throwback Thursday in 20 minutes.
Plus, the NBA Finals start tonight, while Steph Curry says the Warriors are more motivated to win their 3rd championship in a row after the break.
Donate to Goodwill.
Things are heating up in Washington, D.C. today, where 50 finalists will compete for the championship in the Scripps National Spelling Bee.
The event, sponsored by RTV6's parent company, cut the 500 participants down to 50 last night, and it only now includes 1 Indiana finalist. So we told you about him yesterday, Pranav Chandar. He is a 6th grader from Newburgh. This is the first time at the National Spelling Bee, his first time, that is. The spelling starts this morning, live on ESPN2, and then moves to ESPN tonight, where a champion will be crowned. Good luck.
Tonight, the NBA Finals get underway right here on RTV6. The Warriors are looking for their 3rd straight title, this time against a different opponent. The Toronto Raptors have home court advantage for their first Finals appearance. While winning may be familiar to the Warriors, All-Star Steph Curry says they are still as motivated as ever to bring home the trophy.
For us to not only win a championship and get the job done and finish the task of the season, give Oakland one last celebration before we move across the bridge would mean a lot to us, and a little bit of extra motivation for sure.
The Warriors will move to a new arena in San Francisco next season. You can watch more of that interview with Steph Curry on Good Morning America, and you can watch Game 1 of the NBA Finals tonight at 9 on RTV6.
Lil Nas X didn't need a microphone at this performance. He surprised some young fans at an Ohio elementary school after seeing a video of students performing his song Old Town Road at their 5th grade talent show. The surprise happened on the last day of school, and clearly a surprise all of those kids will remember.
How did they get him?
I'm jealous. Man,
I love how they all know the words.
Ironically, I do recall them playing Billy Ray Cyrus on cassette tape, like during one of the last days of school for us, and we were pretty hyped up about that.
Are you singing Achy Breaky Heart?
Yes, that's exactly what it was, and I want to say I was maybe in like kindergarten or 1st grade, and we were really excited to dance, do a little line dance to that, so they have me beat.
I know who Billy Ray is. I have no idea who that guy is.
Oh, but you know that song.
Oh, it's Out Road.
Come on.
We'll sing it for you during the commercial break, so get to that weather.
So you can, Twain, and I get a little Nas X.
You can get a little serenade.
All right. You can get yelled at again. You ladies talk too much. Take my time. 67 in Kokomo, 63 in Indy right now. Some spotty showers moving through. Chance of some stronger storms this afternoon with highs in the 70s. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
50 Rallies and Checkers. Best foodies know the deal.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 6:30, the cleanup continues across central Indiana after Monday's severe weather. The reason everyone needs to take extra precaution despite the fact the storms have passed.
And a family taking on their daughter's school system. Why they say the school didn't do enough to keep their daughter safe from being severely bullied.
And if you drive around Indianapolis, it's no secret just how bad the roads are. The new proposal from Mayor Hug set to smooth out your drive. It is 6:30 here on your Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Nicole Griffin. Meteorologist Todd Clausen is telling us this morning more rain ahead, but the good news, you're saying it's not going to be all day.
Yeah, there are a lot of dry hours mixed in today, so don't think of today as a super wet or rainy day. Think of it as kind of more of a cloudy day with some spotty rain chances in the forecast. And here's a live look at Storm Team 6 radar, and the heaviest of the shower activity this morning continues to be to the north, although there are a few showers now approaching the metro metro area, and they're making their way through Speedway and back into portions of Avon and Brownsburg currently, and they stretch up towards Lebanon, along I-65 into the Lafayette area, and then into Peru. It's just a few sprinkles off towards the east. So certainly this morning there will be the chance that you could see a shower or two move through, but we'll avoid the heavy rain this morning. That is going to bypass us to the north. So here's the view from IMS back off towards the east, showing the clouds in place and temperatures not bad this morning. Currently in the 60s anywhere you go. And today with the additional cloud cover around, temperatures not going to be quite as warm as they have been. Instead of the 80s, we're talking about mid-70s. So some spotty showers this morning, pretty dry through the middle half of the day, and then some isolated thunderstorms could start to flare up after 4 p.m. Elena?
All right, thank you, Todd. So not too much is happening out on the roadways right now. If you're coming in from this east side, heading westbound on I-70 from Post Road over to I-65 downtown should only take you 10 minutes. So all's moving along just fine. No backups, no delays out there on the roads. Let's take a look at the roads right now, though. Here's I-465 Michigan Road. Dry roads right now, but as you're making your way throughout the city as the day continues, just be aware for any areas there might be experiencing rainfall or storms that Todd was just telling us about. Also, coming up in the next 20 minutes, I'll point out a road closure that's beginning tomorrow that you're going to want to pay attention to.
All right, Elena, thank you. The town of Pendleton is still recovering after a Memorial Day tornado. The EF2 tornado rolled through, damaging homes, businesses, and cars. Our Aaron Lish is live in Pendleton with the dangers that are still present after the storm. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning. So as the sun comes up, you're seeing more of the extent of this damage. There are things like these street lights that were just absolutely snapped off. These things are so heavy. The winds here reached about 130 miles per hour. You can see the debris that's piled up here, some of it even taller than myself. So with all of this, this means there is going to be a lot of cleanup in this area. And looking at some of the data, the CDC says they were looking at a tornado from Illinois, and they said about 50% of the injuries happened because of things after the storm. So we talked to Captain Michael Pruitt, who actually goes around the country helping out with natural disaster cleanups, and he says that he's gone to things like hurricanes and tornadoes, and there are things that you need to look out for. There are things like, of course, those down power lines, gas leaks, sharp edges and nails that can cause some serious injuries after a storm. And also for your home, there are trees that are actually down onto some of these houses, and that's something you should be paying attention to because the structure of your home can be compromised because of all of this damage. Again, there's plenty of debris here, and Captain Pruitt says prepare before you clean up.
If we go out and start rummaging around and trying to start working in this environment, and we haven't prepared ahead with, the proper boots and gloves and safety glasses to wear when we're doing this, we're going to end up getting injured, and then it just prolongs our misery beyond the disaster itself.
From what Pruitt has seen in other disasters, he says have a safety kit in your home ready to go, including a week's worth of water and non-perishable food. And looking around in this area here, we were talking to law enforcement this morning that were driving around. They say a big issue right now is the power outages. About 200 customers are out from Duke Energy. You have a lot of debris here, and you can even see over in this yard here, this car is absolutely smashed by these trees, and they were basically snapped like twigs, these big trees that have fallen over. So make sure that you are paying attention when you are cleaning up over the next few weeks. If you'd like to help volunteer, we actually have that information on the IndyChannel.com and on the RTV6 storm coverage. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Aaron, thank you. Bullied so badly, a Franklin teenager says she attempted suicide several times. Now the girl and her mother are suing their school system. The lawsuit identifies the 14-year-old girl as RN. RN has autism and ADHD. According to the lawsuit filed this month, she endured 4 years of severe and ongoing harassment by classmates. RN says she was teased, kicked, punched, and told she should die. The lawsuit alleges when RN's parents brought up concerns, school administrators and staff said the teen was overreacting and suggested she attend half days or go on homebound.
No one seemed to take it seriously. There were meetings with school administrators up to and including the principal. There were phone calls, there were emails back and forth, and nothing seemed to really get the school's attention, even when she was hospitalized.
We reached out to the Franklin Community School Corporation. The superintendent told us he did not have comment.
An Indianapolis couple is facing charges this morning in connection to a Sullivan County murder. Sullivan County Sheriff's deputies arrested 40-year-old Danny Wilson and 40-year-old Renee Huffines on accusations surrounding the death. Investigators say they discovered the victim's body while serving a search warrant east of Sullivan. The victim has not been identified pending a positive identification.
The widow of an Indiana man shot and killed by a state trooper along a highway has taken a step toward filing a civil lawsuit. Gloria Reitzel's attorney recently filed a tort claim, which is a sign she may sue over 56-year-old Glenn Reitzel's death. Police say Indiana State Trooper Daniel Organ shot Glenn Reitzel on December 28th along US 231 north of Crawfordsville. State police say Reitzel grabbed a handgun, forcing them to fire.
A new funding proposal could help fix the city's pothole-plagued roads. Mayor Joe Hogsett unveiled the plan in his State of the City speech last night. Our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning with what this could mean for commuters. Alyssa, good morning.
Good morning, Nicole. You know, anybody who has driven on Indianapolis roads knows that they are in disrepair. They are riddled with potholes and patches, and the city has struggled to get funding to fix these roads because more people use them than actually live in the city. Mayor Hogsett gave his State of the City speech on Wednesday, and he explained his plan to address the issue. The mayor is proposing officials reach out to surrounding areas where commuters live. He's calling for Marion County and 8 surrounding counties to put money into a central infrastructure fund, which would then be distributed out for local road projects. That money would come from the growth of the region's income taxes, so no new taxes would be levied on anybody.
After decades of underfunding, it is abundantly clear that any solution for Marion County's infrastructure problems must include help from all who routinely use that infrastructure.
Now, the proposal is still in the early stages, but could eventually raise $100 million new dollars for projects without raising taxes. Now, the mayor of Fishers, Scott Fadness, has already expressed some concerns about this new road project idea. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
All right, thank you, Alyssa. 6:39. As you get ready to head out the door, you saw there was no rain where Alyssa was in downtown Indianapolis, but some of you seeing a few showers in and across the area. The best shower chances this morning will be across northern portions of the area, but there will be a few sprinkles in and around the metro area. It looks a little worse on radar than it actually will be. So as you walk out the door with your favorite four-legged friend here, the forecast is in pretty good shape. Our featured dog today, Oscar. Thanks for Tracy in Bloomington for sending Oscar in, and you can enjoy the walk this morning and even into the afternoon hours. I'll just warn you that as we do get into the peak heating of the day in the afternoon, there will be the chance of some isolated storms that could flare up. And once again today, there's the chance a few of them could be borderline strong to possibly severe. So I've been telling you about this app all week long, Storm Shield. It's totally free. You can download it in the App Store. It'll alert you to any watches, warnings in your specific area, and also has a nice interactive radar out there in case you're just walking the dog or heading out to a ball game. You can check the radar as well. We'll talk more about your weekend forecast coming up here in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Robert Mueller is sounding off for the first time about his Russia investigation, what he said about President Trump, and how both sides are reacting this morning.
And it was 70 years ago today that RTV6 signed on the air as Indiana's first television station. But just ahead in our Throwback Thursday, the story you likely don't know about the first TV broadcast in Indianapolis. It's 6:40. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. We'll be right back.
Hey, Kroger, Kings Island. It's amazing in here.
If we had had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said so. We did not, however, make a determination as to whether the president did commit a crime.
Those words came from special counsel Robert Mueller during his first public comments Wednesday regarding his 2-year-long Russia probe. Mueller said his investigation didn't clear President Trump, but he also stated that because of federal laws, he couldn't indict a sitting president. He's clearly tossing the ball into Congress's court. His statement increases the pressure on House Speaker Pelosi to begin impeachment proceedings, but she says it's too soon.
You don't bring an indictment or you don't bring an impeachment unless you have all of the facts, the strongest possible case, so that the president is held accountable.
In a tweet, President Trump responded by saying there was insufficient evidence, declaring, quote, the case is closed.
This morning, we're getting a better sense of the powerful tornado that ripped through Kansas on Tuesday. Meteorologists say the massive tornado that tore through Lawrence and Linwood, Kansas was an EF4 with 170-mile-per-hour winds. The tornado left a 32-mile path of destruction and was on the ground for nearly an hour. There hasn't been a day without tornadoes in some part of the country since May 16th. And here at home, Meredith and I are just hoping to get through today, Todd. Some more rain in the forecast, and then we're looking forward to tomorrow.
We need some sunshine. We need some vitamin D on our skin, please.
Yeah, well, you'll have to go to a different pool since yours is closed there, Nicole. But yeah, pool weather, lake weather, you're in pretty good shape here over the course of the next few days as we'll work quite a bit of sunshine. Not the case this morning, though. Look at the clouds, and off in the distance here, you can see just a few showers where you see that haze. And as we go over to radar, you can see there's nothing real impressive on radar, at least here in central Indiana. Some heavier rain once you get up towards the Crown Point area. But if your morning commute takes you through northern locales here, Lafayette, Kokomo, Peru, Marion, eventually over into Muncie, there will be the chance of a spot shower or two. Nothing heavy, and the overall impact of these showers I don't think is all that great across the area. And then there could be a few sprinkles south of Interstate 70, and that is just about it. So let me expand out here and give you the bigger picture. So we have this wave of rain and thunderstorm activity that's moving through right now, and then on the back side of it, you notice that there's some rain showers near Omaha. That's finally this area of low pressure that's going to be moving out. Our weather pattern has been very similar since really the end of last week, in the sense that we've just had these waves of rain coming through, going along a front that's just toggled its way across central Indiana. Where that front is where the rain went. And so we're finally going to change it, and part of that's because the jet stream will be changing here in the coming days. So we have to get through today, some spotty shower chances here in the morning hours, then we get into some sunshine. But once we do break out into that sunshine, watch how a few isolated storms will start to flare up across the area as that area of low pressure makes its way through. The more sunshine we see, the more chances of seeing some showers and storms here across the area later on this afternoon, as there's enough instability around that sunshine will help to develop a few of these downpours, and then eventually everything will start to come to an end later on this evening. The Storm Prediction Center has us under the marginal risk for severe weather. The main threats today would be wind and hail as these storms make their way through the area. We are not expecting any tornadic activity here across the area today, but I guess you can never say never with the weather pattern we've been in, but by far that's the lowest threat for today. Temperatures this morning are currently in the 60s. Throughout the day today, we'll get into the mid-70s for your afternoon highs. So any sunshine will be later on this afternoon, and then those storm chances will come in after about 4 p.m. Tomorrow, a beautiful day. The ladies want sunshine. You want sunshine. I have sunshine for you tomorrow, and that's the good news. A little bit of cloud cover maybe in the morning hours, and then getting into mostly sunny skies in the afternoon. 77 degrees tomorrow. If you have plans Friday evening, you are in tip-top shape for your weekend. 80 on Saturday, 74 on Sunday. Plenty of sunshine on Saturday. Just be aware that there could be some isolated thunderstorms that pop up in the peak heating of the day. And then Sunday, partly cloudy skies and cooler, actually going a little bit below normal by the end of the weekend at 74 degrees, and then staying below the normal high of 77 Monday and Tuesday, with mostly sunny skies and then just a small shower chance as we head into Wednesday. Elena?
All right, thank you, Todd. I want to point out a couple things out to you. So over here on the west side, we have a rollover crash, Belmont Avenue on White River Parkway. way. No injuries with this crash. We also have this closure beginning tomorrow at 9 in the morning. Northbound I-65 between I-465 on the south side up to the South Split's going to be closed tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So I-65 from South Split to the North Split. Those northbound lanes are going to be closed, as well as the westbound lanes of I-70 from the South Split over to Belmont Avenue. To get around it, head westbound on 465, then go to eastbound I-70 to get downtown, or westbound 465, which turns into northbound 465, and then head northbound or southbound on I-65, depending upon your destination. Let's take a look at the roads right now, though. Here's a crash that just came up. So these are the southbound lanes of I-65 at I-70 at the North Split. You can see those right two lanes are blocked. Now, this just came up, so I'm about to find out more information on this crash for you, and I'll learn. As soon as I learn it, I'll let you know.
It is that time of the week once again where we dive into the RTV6 archives and take a look into the past.
Today's Throwback Thursday is extra special, as it was 70 years ago today that Channel 6 first went on the air here in Indiana. When Channel 6 signed on, we were Indiana's first TV station, but you may not know that we were not the first TV broadcast in the state.
One Indianapolis man was actually broadcasting a television signal a full decade before Channel 6 went on the air. Jerry D. Smith witnessed a television demonstration at the 1933 World's Fair and became hooked.
In 1937, he talked his father into purchasing a television receiver kit, but learned there were no TV signals in Indianapolis. So, with the help of Purdue University, Smith built a television camera and a broadcasting transmitter in his basement on West 30th Street.
His first actual broadcast with his friend Marion Stevenson, seen here running the camera, was in 1940, 9 years before Channel 6 signed on. But there was no one to see the broadcast. Even if anyone else had a television, the basement transmitter only had enough power to beam a signal to the living room.
Smith convinced some friends and neighbors to buy television receivers and broadcast everything from old movies to plays put on by Butler students in his living room. Smith also claims he was the third person in the world to broadcast a live sporting event, a park school football game.
Wow. Well, Smith eventually sold his equipment to a company in 1944, but they decided there would be no future in television and shut down the operation.
Boy, were they wrong.
Right?
Well, you can see more of this story right now on the IndyChannel.com/history.
That is where you can find all of our other Throwback Thursday stories, and be sure to join us tonight as we celebrate 70 years on the air here in Central Indiana.
Clyde Lee and Dion Willis will lead us in a 1-hour special, 70 years together, RTV6 working for you. That's tonight at 7. We hope you join us then.
Coming up, things are finally starting to get back to normal this morning in Pendleton. The signs of progress today as the town works to recover from Monday's tornado.
Sponsored by Window World. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 6:53. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Nicole Griffin. We're working for you, helping you get your Thursday morning started.
We have all your top stories covered, and Elena Martella is keeping a close eye on the morning commute. We do want to start off with Todd Clausen and another rainy forecast.
Yeah, you know, there's showers in the forecast. There's thunderstorms in this forecast. There's a lot of dry hours, though, today. Definitely not going to be a washout. Here's the view to the north, and you notice the clouds that are in place. Temperature's not bad this morning. We're sitting in the 60s, 64 in Bloomington, 67 Kokomo, 63 in Indianapolis. So Storm Team 6 radar not showing a whole lot. There could be a sprinkler or two in and around the metro area. The heavier showers will stay here in northwestern portions of Indiana as they move through. And the green you see here in the metro area, a lot of that is not even reaching the ground. However, as we go throughout the day, temperatures climb up into the 70s. As we get into a little bit of sunshine this afternoon, watch for a few storms to flare up, some of which could be isolated, strong to severe.
Todd, thank you. Today, another step of getting back to normal in Pendleton. All South Madison schools will reopen for the first time since the Memorial Day EF2 tornado. For the first time, all traffic restrictions in Pendleton have been lifted. With schools reopening, the shelter for anyone in need will move from the high school to the Pendleton Christian Church. Aaron.
We are here in Pendleton as cleanup is underway. You can see all of the debris here from the EF2 tornado that ripped through this town. The CDC is referencing to data from a tornado from Illinois that about 50% of the injuries happen after the storm. First responders tell us that you need to prepare for dangers before you go to clean up. Wear boots, long sleeve shirts, pants, and safety glasses as you collect all of the debris. There are things like down power lines, gas leaks, sharp edges, and nails that can cause some serious injuries after a storm. Right now, there are about 200 power outages according to Duke Energy, and you can actually help volunteer in this community. We have that information on the IndyChannel.com and on the RTV6 app under.
Mayor Joe Hogsett is proposing a new plan to fix Indianapolis roads, and he presented that plan last night in his State of the City address. He wants to ask surrounding counties to contribute to a central infrastructure fund that would be distributed out for road projects. That's because of the high number of commuters from neighboring cities that drive to Indianapolis but don't live here. The proposal is still in the early stages but could bring in $100 million for projects without raising taxes.
And as we're taking to the roads this morning, a couple of crashes to point out to you. Over on our west side, we have a crash. This is a rollover crash, Belmont Avenue at White River Parkway. No injuries with this crash. There is a crash with injuries, though, with the right lanes blocked on southbound I-65 at I-70, which is in the north split. This involves a semi and a car. Now, ISP dispatch tells me minor injuries, nothing too bad. It's Todd.
All right, as we go throughout the day today, mostly cloudy this morning, spot sprinkle or two. And then as we head into the afternoon hours, some storms will build across the area as we work a little bit of sunshine in. So the more sun we see, the better chance of seeing some isolated storms this afternoon. A couple of them could be strong to severe heading into the evening hours. So keep that in mind. Wind and hail, the two main threats. Tomorrow, beautiful day, mostly sunny, a high near 80. Some spotty storms on Saturday, but definitely not a washout. And then Sunday, a little cooler, but partly cloudy skies.
All right, Todd, thank you. We're back in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America with news, weather, and traffic updates.
Remember, all your news throughout the day can be found on the RTV6 News app. We leave you now with live look across central Indiana. Rain in the forecast. We hope you have a great day.